We will not allow because you was chief of numbers and then you to carry land.
Sir, everything was acquired legally.
Will you stop that?
You get
Will you stop that?
Sir, I'm an officer, I have integrity.
Shut up, you're not good,
sir.
sir.
I will not shut up.
Will you get out?
Sir, I won't shut up. Sir,
I was in school, you're not in school.
Sir, you can't shut
Will
me
you keep quiet? Get a big fool.
I'm not
You're a big fool.
I'm not a
You
fool,
think you
sir.
can shoot anybody like that?
Sir, I'm not
You're
a
a big
fool.
fool. Are you
I am not a fool, sir.
As at the time I graduated, you were in primary school.
So yesterday there was a clash between the Minister of the LCT, Wike, as well as the military, the Nigerian military as the case may be. And it was a very interesting conversation. And I got a couple of tags here and there to have a conversation or say a thing or two about the incident, especially in my capacity as a property lawyer in the FCT. And honestly, I was quite tempted to really want to jump on the conversation, especially because it was trending. I had every reason to jump on it. And as a matter of fact, I could have already been trending right now if I had posted a video or done what I needed to do or have the real conversation as I should have had. Having slept over it, I decided not to trend. Rather, I will remain under the radar and communicate what I have to communicate to the issue, as well as to all of those who are playing or us who are playing in the real estate sector in Nigeria. Before I hit the nail on the head, I want to quickly say that it takes a whole lot of depth to have the confidence to write a book on real estate laws in Nigeria, understanding real estate laws in Nigeria. I tell you for a fact that there is a depth of expertise right here that positions me to really have this conversation in details. However, I'm going to focus on three things, and I hope that we all learn from it. First is the fact that there is the law in Nigeria. The law. Secondly, there is the process of enforcing the law. I'm going to share the last one in a moment. But first, let me deal with this first one again. For almost a decade, I've been playing in the real estate sector as a lawyer and, of course, done litigation, gone to court as far as the Court of Appeal. And, of course, I've played in the sector as a broker and now as a developer. And I can tell you for a fact that the primary reason why a book like this was written is because many of us are very ignorant of the law. I'm not trying to insult anybody. It's simply a statement of fact. We may have information about the law here and there, but not many of us truly understand Nigerian property law. Many of those information you find on the internet are either written by bloggers who don't have the depth of understanding Nigerian property law. Most of these bloggers write for clicks, and unfortunately we read them and interpret them as Nigerian property law. On the other side, we also read articles on the internet written by foreigners. We read foreign blogs, foreign websites that may have the correct information about real estate laws but not applicable in Nigeria. Because even though real estate is a global conversation, there are local realities and local laws that must govern that real estate sector. The same way there is real estate in Nigeria as a nation, but there are different property jurisdictions in Nigeria. And I've said it over and over that even though there is a Land Use Act of 1978 that governs everything real estate in Nigeria, there are also specific laws within states and localities that determine how real estate operates in those regions. And many of us are not aware of all of this. A typical example, the average Nigerian thinks that a title document in Lagos State is the same as a title document in Abuja. Or they think that a CFO in Enugu is the same as that same CFO in Abuja. And unfortunately, this is not correct. There are a whole lot of realities around titles as status and title documents as documents in themselves within the Nigerian real estate space. But that's not the conversation. The conversation is that we need to pay serious attention to understanding Nigerian property law in the context of Nigeria as a location and in the context of Nigeria having multiple property jurisdictions. So if many of us as Nigerians and those that are abroad are able to get this Nigerian property law in the context of what I just shared, most of the opinion that we saw or I saw on the internet yesterday wouldn't have been posted. Second thing is the process of enforcing the law. Largely speaking, the problem we have here is with our government, right? Because enforcing the law is the job of government, not we as individuals or we as citizens of Nigeria. So there's been a major problem in this regard, and I'm hoping that someday at some point we are able to get it. Part of the problem also will draw back to point number one, because when you even don't know the substance of the law, knowing the process of enforcing it also becomes a problem. And that is why there is abuse of process both at our government level and also at our individual levels as citizens. And the very last point speaks to the conversation around consequences of enforcing the law. When we know the law, it's easy for us to enforce the law. And then when we enforce the law, it's easy for us to accept or reject the consequences of the law. When there is a massive ignorance of the law, we refuse the consequences, and then we fight those we are not supposed to fight, or we drag issues that we are not supposed to drag, or we complain and bitter about Nigeria when we are not supposed to. Because for many of us, particularly for those who live in the diaspora, there are laws that govern activities in the diaspora, and when you breach them, you already know the consequences. But within our space, many persons are not aware of the law. So when you bring the consequences, it looks like witch hunting. And of course, you already know that the average Nigerian will seize the opportunity to insult Nigeria, insult the nation, and display the highest form of unpatriotism. I'm trying to avoid getting into the heart of the conversation because I'm no longer in that position because of the respective roles I hold. However, I would highly recommend that you find a way to solve problem number one. Whether you are a realtor, whether you are investing in Nigeria, you are a developer, whoever you are, the moment you had an opinion about the trending issue or other trending issues about real estate in Nigeria, first pay attention to understanding real estate laws in Nigeria. When you do, you share better opinion publicly or privately, and ultimately, Nigeria will be a better place. Not just as Nigeria, but of course, the real estate sector as well.